Welcome to this digital meeting space and place for a conversation with me, Dr. Stephen Hobbs from the Wellth movement. This is March the 1st, 2023, and today we're going to take a look at seasoning Wellth stews. It's actually a metaphor that I wanted to share with you, interact with you as we're having some conversations, and you can certainly interact through the comments section of the video or wherever it is that you're seeing it now or after. Now, this metaphor that I'm bringing forth about seasoning is about 7 words that I use in the projects and programs and the books that I write. And like any good stew, of which there are different kinds, it's the same kind of idea here, is that there's different kinds of programs and projects and books that I wanted to share with you. And I'm doing it in this sort of collaborative conversation. Now, I know today might be a little bit more of myself presenting. I will be encouraging you to get involved and share your comments so that we can truly get into a conversation. Now, this notion of stews is something of a metaphor that I'm bringing forward because often when I'm doing cooking in the evening, I'm making different kinds of stews. Some of them have been on the stovetop for a little while. Some of them are fairly quick. Now, some people might say some of my quick ones are more like stir fries. I get that, but I like the notion of the stews because there is a sense of a warmth that goes with that. Even on a warm day, having a good stew is great, but on a cold day, it's really wonderful. And today I wanted to share with you some of this notion of seasoning Wellth stews, because there are 7 seasonings that are available to me as I create these stews. Now, the seasonings, again, remember this is a metaphor, the seasonings are these 7 words: legacy, nature; experience, education; safety; and wealth, movement. Now, each one of those seasonings brings forth a different flavor, tasting, just the same as you might get sweet and salty or sour. Each one of these brings forth a different flavoring of items, projects, programs, and that I want to share with you. Now, share with you is certainly to invite olders to be elders. And that's what I am doing, those who I want to interact with. Not to say that if you are not an older or you're not an elder, this is not for you. Actually, I would encourage you to even listen in, because there is this notion of preparation and prevention and practice that even in your younger years, if you wanted to learn about some of the things that I'm sharing through these conversations, that will help you to prepare and prevent and get practice ready for those years where you might find yourself stepping into the world of elder. Now, to be able to get this up and going for you, there's a number of announcements or suggestions that I wanted to bring forth around the use of these seasonings. So maybe to just go a little bit more into what each of the seasonings is about. So legacy is about the useful whats, in this case, time, effort, and money, that you gift others so that they can learn something from your lived experience. So in many ways, you discover, shape, and share your legacy. Nature is about the outer doors, and when the outer doors is brought indoors, I'm thinking like houseplants. But it's about walking with nature, being outside, truly enjoying what's going on around you, being with the trees, the flora and fauna. The notion of experience is you create for yourself the notion of to experience the extraordinary. So you set in motion the design, the thinking of an experience. Then you go to experience it. And then as you reflect on the experience, you're able to draw insights and ideas and investigations, interpretations that sort of, in a sense, improve, strengthen, and focus your life. And those different kinds of experiences can be anything from travel to this notion of walking with nature and finding a really beautiful tree or listening to the sound of birds. The education component of it comes from a phrasing: when you listen, you learn; where you share, you educate. Now, we'll be sharing with you ideas about listening, but the other component of this about sharing and educating will be bringing forth ideas and guest presenters around mentoring to start with, and then open up other ways of educating as time goes by, exploring, facilitating, and instructing and navigating. These are other ways in which to educate, and I'll be bringing those forth in these digital conversations. The next one is safety. There's always been an underpinning of my work is to do it so that I manage safe systems and lead safer practices. In the past years, I have been a whitewater rafting guide, so safety was really important in interacting with the river and having those who were with me interacting in safe ways. I also instructed wilderness remote first aid for many years, and I learned about the safe approach that you would use in staying found or to stay found with nature. And I've drawn ideas from that around programs that I will be offering, and I'll be making more announcements about that. The idea of Wellth and movement. Wellth is about well-being and well-living to the nth degree. So well-being for self, well-living with others. The movement aspect is the notion of this physicality, the physical you, and then going into motion all the way up to creating something that might be called a social cultural movement. And some of those might be environmental, like water movements, supporting water, maybe poverty, maybe homelessness. There are different ways in which to create these social cultural movements. And these 7 words are what are the seasonings for what it is that I am doing myself, because I'm an older to be an elder. So this is a possibility of an example for you. These conversations is to bring out these seasonings for the different kinds of stews that can be made and cooked and eaten over a couple of days. Again, metaphorically, but literally, there are things here that I want to bring to your attention that you can use for your own life, living your life, this notion of well-being and well-living. And I just want to bring some of those to your attention, things that I have published, some things that I'm bringing forth that I've got plans for, and to encourage, again, this interaction. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, and that would be wonderful to see you. So let me just give you some updates about what's been happening. Now, I have a little bit of a list that I'm going to check off here as I go through, just so that you have get my full presentation. So let's see. Again, I just want to remind you it's olders to be elders, and it's who use these seasonings for the stews that you're creating. So for me, what I have done is that I have written a book called Mentoring Now. It's from the education lens, the education seasoning. And that is now up on Amazon. It's in a paper book version. The link is down below. I'm just in the throes of completing the eBook version so it could go up on Kindle, and I'll be creating a workbook to go with that, journal workbook to go with that. All of that will be on Amazon. I also created what's called the Legacy Notebook that I just published on Amazon as well. It's a way in which to take a look at legacy through the lens of the pillars, the important ways in which to take a look at legacy. And it has a flavor of, yes, a notebook that is sort of 8.5 by 11, sits on your desk, and it prompts you to think through some ideas. And you can certainly download that from Amazon. Again, the link will be there below. So that's what's on Amazon at this point in time and what's forthcoming. Also, I am creating an ebook that I will publish on Amazon within the next couple of weeks. It'll have a little bit more of what I'm going to call a poetry format than a prose. In other words, short sentences that are sort of down the left side or maybe down the right side that you can interact with. It will be in a paper book version. It will be a book about grounding you or offering you insights and ideas about what it means to move from older to be elder, and explains the use of those terms so that you can get a sense of where it is that I'm coming from, but also to pick up and then ask you to interact with me. So this grounding or these ideas, these insights are like path stones for the pathway along this Wellth movement that you want to take for yourself and interact with possibly myself. And that would be wonderful through the programs and projects that I'm offering. Now, the other component of this is that there's a considerable amount of information about mentoring that's now available. And that Mentoring Now book that I mentioned, but also at mentorpractices.com, you can access information about mentoring from an education point of view, that seasoning of education, which actually is a component of experience as well. So this mentorpractices.com is where you can get insights about mentoring through courses and blogs and video links to the International Mentoring Community YouTube channel. So Mentor Practices sets up also for you your access to certification of being a mentor. And we offer a certificate of practice mentor. And if you stay with it and you want to keep going, then there's the certificate of practice journey mentor. And this international mentoring community, the Mentor Practices, I am working with my co-founder, Doug Lawrence. And he will be one of the guests that will certainly be showing up on these live broadcasts, these digital conversations. And Doug will share from a deep practice point of view where he's coming from, and him and I will have these great conversations about mentoring. So that is the Mentor Practices component. I also wanted to bring to your attention, I'm in the throes of writing a book magazine. So it will be in book form that you can then access in what's called a flip magazine style. And it will be produced on the equinoxes and solstices. So we have the spring equinox coming up on March the 21st. I'm in process of putting that all together. It will be the first issue that's coming out. So it will certainly offer insights and ideas about how you can get involved. But it's a collection of material that I have been curating over the last couple of years. And friends have given me tree stories because it's about trees and children and how they celebrate each other, weave them together, how to navigate with children and youth and trees, and some of the projects and programs that I am supporting. It's going to be a wonderful book that will be in paperback format, but also available in this flip magazine system so that if you wanted to, you can sit at your computer and just sort of flip through the book in that way, or you can purchase it off of Amazon, the paperback book. Now, also, it will include lots of different kinds of puzzles and pages for coloring, all different kinds of prompt activities. And it will be, again, to remind you, it's quarterly, coming out on the equinoxes and solstices. So I'm looking forward to getting that up and going, and it certainly contributes to my legacy that I want to live and leave, and see how many of these publications I can actually get over the years to come. And I'll be creating courses around how to draw trees, how to write stories that are nature-based. All these kind of ideas will be inside the book and the magazine as well. So it'll be quite a thorough, fun way to interact with you around connecting trees, forests with children and youth. So grandparents, parents, you will find this to be of great interest. And in there, I'll also share with you some of the projects and programs that I am supporting. So the book, this quarterly book and flip magazine, is also a fundraising activity as well. So again, it's my legacy story. It's sharing experiences that I have interacted with, and therefore interacted with you and your experiences as well, and bringing them into the light of the book to share ideas with you, to light this pathway that you are walking as well. The other thing that you will find is that I'll be interviewing some interesting characters along the way. I have interacted with an Alex Bajorek. He is a practitioner and associated with the Association for Experiential Education, of which I'm a member. So I reached out to some of those members and asked to interview them, and so that you can learn a little bit about what people are doing from an education experience point of view that usually has a bit of a nature component to it. And we also get into a little bit of the safety aspects of that. So this whole idea of this digital conversation with you, this place where we can interact, is what's going to happen on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Mountain. And my plan is to do it every Wednesday at 10 a.m. I very unlikely will take any time off. If anything happens that I can't make it, then I will upload and schedule a video for you. But this will be a place for us to get together. And I will also encourage that through the comments section, the chat function, there will be time available for those who show up to ask questions, make statements, interact. And then if I can pull you into the live, then I will do so. So often I will go for about 21 minutes and then leave a time not to exceed 60 minutes. So it will all happen within an hour. So again, just as a quick summary, this is a digital place to have conversations with myself and others. Some of them will be guests, others will be what I call Wellthers, those are who volunteer, interact, and to some extent, as time goes by, through my Patreon account, and there'll be a link below, there will be the hiring of virtual assistants and writers and production staff who can assist me, certainly with the digital book and digital magazine, and I'll share more about its name as time goes by. And they will be introduced to you, and if I can get them on live, I'll do so you get to meet them as well. And these Wellthers, the volunteers, they will be persons that I interact. Some of them might be coming from the fundraising side of things. Others will just be those who are interested and want to further the stories and the programs and projects that are available. Now, for the most part, this is all under the banner of the Wellth movement. It's an incorporated company. And yes, Wellth and movement are two of the important terms. And again, I'll share more as time goes by. But if you go to the Wellth Learning TV channel, then on YouTube, you will pick up videos that help to explain a little bit more about these 7 words and different projects and programs that are happening and updates that are available at the wellthmovement.com /Wellth blog. There are articles that I'll be writing and putting up there as well. And you can interact with the wellthmovement.com website. There is base information there to get you started. So I'm getting to the point that it's 21 minutes. So I don't see anyone has jumped on and given me any comments or anything at this point in time. That's okay. And sometimes that's going to happen. I always enjoy sharing what is taking place, what is unfolding and enfolding through the Wellth movement. And so I just want to check my notes to make sure that I've got everything covered. Looks like it. And again, at any point in time, you can leave comments. I see them. I will certainly share responses wherever I find the comment. And again, join us live for the next ones that are unfolding. That would be wonderful as well. And as time goes by, I'll share more about this digital meeting place for these conversations with myself and what else is happening. So I would probably have to suggest is that there will be things moving around a little bit. There's a bit of flexibility here, and that's okay. See what starts to unfold. And every once in a while, just to keep it real, you'll probably hear the squeaks of my chair. And that's just to remind me of movement to keep myself up and moving. And I would encourage the same for yourself. So certainly walk with nature, listen into what's happening around you, and enjoy and experience the extraordinary for what's happening. Live your legacy the way that you would like to live that legacy, and serve as a mentor as you find that time for yourself to be with others. So with that, take care, enjoy all that presents.